What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another season and episode of the Universim. This will be Season 5 as requested by the in-game chat, but before we get on to Season 5, there are a few things I need to clean up based on the previous season's remarks. The first one being, there is now the save file from Season 4 that is within the Discord under the game's save file location, as you should be able to see on screen. The zip file is there. The game is already able to do importing of that file and then be used if you wish to. So that's that request out of the way. Secondly, there is the competition. Although there wasn't many of you, it still needs to be done. And as an extra bonus, I've decided to pick 2 winners, not 1, due to the just continued support from you guys. So let's get on with that. So just using the online wheel spinner just to show you that there was 4 entries there, and just to show you it's fair, really, just to make sure nobody gets any ideas about me cheating. So the first winner from the roulette table out of the 4 people that entered is Jojo Wood 89. Congratulations. Please get in touch with me on email or Discord and we'll sort out your voucher there. I'll then make sure to remove Joe from the wheel and roll it again. So spinning again, and again, this is just 2 winners for this, and this is a copy of the game or a voucher of the same, should you wish, if you already have the game, of course. Retro Boss RK3524, congratulations, you are the second winner. Please reach out to me on email, newha@live.com, or on Discord to receive your prize. Finally, on to Season 5, and you should see on screen now an Excel sheet. This is pulled from the survey that we did for the actual winning options, and that is a huge planet with fugitive, often disasters, occasional animal attacks, aggressive exiles, and rapid creator points. So with that in mind, and I'm very thankful, by the way, that the coffin dodger didn't win. With that in mind, let's get on with Season 5, Episode 1. So as always, just in the character selection screen, or the nugget collection screen, and we're just going to make our nugget here nice and simple. It's going to be the fugitive. The disaster-wise, natural disasters should be often, wild attacks should be occasional, exile should be aggressive, and creator points should be rapid. And then I've made them fluorescent pink for no other reason than I can. And of course, the starter planet seed is going to be 2024 for the year, because I couldn't think of anything smarter than that on this occasion. So the seed is 2024. Okay, so I, of course, skipped the intro. If you want to see that, it is at the beginning of Season 4 for the full release. I just use the button, you hold it for 3 seconds, I think, and it skips it. Now I'm looking for the largest body of water. Rinse and repeat here. We have fugitives, so that will mean that the nuggets are extremely fast at running, but they do steal a lot of resources. From what I've tried with these, though I haven't actually played a full playthrough with them, it's a little bit annoying, but you can sort of counteract it by using telekinesis to just keep topping them up with trees and stones as you go.
Take a look at your new subjects.
So standard start.
Nuggets. Largely because of their body's apparent inability.
And this guy we know now is not so nice, although he's annoying and quite sarcastic. We'll meet him again, I'm sure. Remember, this series is going to be the full playthrough of that the storyline. So before in Season 4, I did skip by not getting the 2 parts that we needed. This time we're going to do that just to make sure that it is a full indeed playthrough. Also, we're aware that a lot of planets does kind of lag out a bit or make loading screens quite long. It doesn't actually lag out that much when you're playing the planet once it's loaded. So we're just going to pay attention to that. Now the beginning is the same as before, so let's jump a little bit further forward to maybe the sort of quest where we get our first babies.
If they also didn't happen to be the species that initially thought their shadows were trying to eat them. Oh,
and there we go.
Would you look at that?
The first babies and a quest to name said babies, which
aren't they
I go with fast and faster. I honestly, things and me thinking on the fly don't usually go so well, so that's what the best I could do at the time. Fast and faster. And at least we know that one of them's faster than the other, in theory, right? So as we move forward, it's going to be a bit slow at the start. For any of you that have already played this game, you know this. Without the research, there's not really much to do at all. I will jump ahead shortly, but before I do that, I want to give him just a little bit of extra food. So I'm going to yoink a whale out the ocean. Why? Honestly, there is no reason behind this at all. And I would likely suggest that you don't. But I can. So I do. And there we go. Nice, shiny, spotty whale. And I'll just plop it there at the side of the town centre. And that'll give him some food. It gave him 60 food to be exact. They had 20, they've now got 80. Wasn't needed, just, you know, because I could. Okay, so unlike last series, I'm putting the reservoirs and the water pump down immediately and getting them prioritised also. This will help us get as much water in the reservoir as possible, and it'll also mean that the nuggets won't drink from the lake and therefore get poisoned. The poison isn't a thing for us anymore. I mean, it is in terms of it's standard thing, but we have played with Highlanders a lot recently, and that was quite catastrophic. This time it is not the case, so poison is poison and it will spread normally, though we won't have any ridiculous aged nuggets. Now, from the record of the last game, I believe it was like 720-ish years old. For any of you that do take the save game and carry on, I would suggest you don't try and load through the planets too often because it's a bit slow. But other than that, it should be fine. And if you do get any screenshots of them getting to that random number, well, it's not a random number, that magic number of 1,000 years or days old, please do send in your comments or posts on either YouTube or Discord if you've got some photos, and I'll certainly add them into the series and show others what you have achieved. For me, it was just too laggy, and you guys agreed, or the ones that responded did agree, so we've gone straight in for Season 5. And again, fugitive means they move very quick. I think it's 30 or 35% faster, but it does mean they steal a lot, so we will hear a lot of the whistle from the police where they're stealing stuff. Coming back in time for the fishing pier to be completed up, and you can see that the temple is being erected over there to the left. That's automatic, we don't have to do that, they do it for us. And you can see we've got 4 nuggets so far, all with the trait that we set, which is fugitive. So I'm just going to set crowns on them. Again, if anybody wants anybody naming, of course I will do that, let me know, and I'll give you an icon for it. Just remember though that you won't live past sort of 70-ish. I don't know, you won't live that long. When we get to the clone centre we can chuck in people with Highlanders, but again, it's up to you. Any thoughts? Even if you want your building named after yourself, go ahead, pick one, and I'll do that too. But if you pick a nugget, I can't promise I can keep you alive for very long, because I think the age at the start is sort of 50 to 60 years maximum. So yeah, and we usually playthroughs last sort of 6 to 7, 800 years. So you won't be there for very long, unfortunately.
Have you read
so with 2 spare nuggets, not yet in a relationship, I can make that happen with the Lucky Bido spell. This will open the quest for backbreaking work, which means we have to finish their house for them. That's very easy to do. Telekinesis, wood and stone.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll give you some time.
Easy peasy. And now they'll go back to said house and do the nasty. And then we'll have even more nuggets to look after and keep healthy. Into the research, and just as a standard start really, I always start with fire, water wheel and water flow study to give me the fire obviously, but then the water pump and the water reservoir, and from there I go. I'm trying not to talk over this guy, but he's just annoying me.
The ability to influence your civilization's evolution and improve its chances of survival. You can prioritize whatever your heart desires, but remember that the heart is idiotic at best. So use your head instead. That's a pretty good motto to live by. Well, unless you're mining stone, of course. It turns out not sacrificing nuggets made the world a kinder place. Who would have thought?
And he finally shut up. So yeah, I'm just getting the ones that I've got to breed again. and making sure that we get that population up as soon as possible. Just remember, if you do this plan of attack that I seem to always use, you will need a lot of reservoirs to counteract the amount of water that they'll need. But yeah, so after the water tower and the pump, I go for cemetery pretty quick, and hospital. Cemetery to stop the plague nuggets, the disease nuggets, because it gets on my nerves. So that's the pattern I go with. And after that, I kind of just move along in any order how I like. No major plan of attack, but you will eventually have to go for the town hall as well, which is quite useful to save you having to put nuggets into each individual building manually. Finally got the engineer's hut as well, because half my buildings are falling down. You just disappear to get a glass of water while you wait, because of course, as we've said and as we all know, there's not much happening at the beginning because you're waiting on research and very slow nuggets. But yeah, buildings start to fall down pretty quickly, so the engineer's hut is quite imperative as well. And with the engineer's hut staffed up and sorted out, all of them buildings you can see with the red icons above them that are falling down will now be fixed, and they'll easily be fixed before they won't actually fall down. So I'm not worried there. I put 2 in just to make sure, but I'm not worried there at all. Another quest. Find my lost nugget. We know how to do this one right. So just click on the home, the boy within that home. Find the location of, and boom, takes you straight to him, and then you can bring him back, and quest is complete. Quite easy now, you know how to do it. They may fix that one day, but for now they haven't, so just keep going. Just out, looking around the planet, seeing what is and isn't there, finding the battery, the first part of the battery as well, but then some loot boxes as well. The loot boxes seems to be 3 or 4 when you start on the planet automatically, so I have got all 4 there. There will be more from UFO crashes and various other things, and just random spawns, I think. But certainly from the beginning of the game, you should start with 3 or 4 at the very least. Warehouses now for storage, and as much as you may think these aren't worth it, they definitely are. There's a walking tree just there where I'm placing it, as you can see. Still no information on that, whether it's supposed to be just a walking tree because of the storyline. There's no interaction with them, or whether it's coming at another time, I couldn't tell you. But there he is. I'm zooming in on it because they do trigger me when I see him moving about. So if anybody's got any inclination, that's supposed to say information about that, let me know. I have tried various different spells, even planting trees next to it and all sorts of different things, and as yet, nothing. It just carries on minding its own business, flopping around, walking anywhere it likes.
Nice to see you doing some gardening.
Just put a hospital down there, bottom left, you can see, just doing the standard practice, because like I say, although it does help speed things up, there is also really nothing else to do at the start. So getting the resources, when it's just sticks and stones, it's nice and simple, and it helps them out, because the longest part is them actually fetching the goods or the resources. So do that, fill it up, and then all they have to do is build, and I'll continue to do the rest. I will replenish the wards trees certainly a bit later on, but for now the amount you need is not that big of a deal anyway. It's only when you start getting into the planks and stuff that you start seeing it leached. Okay, so extending the range.
Another civilization was founded. Let's hope this one doesn't do better than yours, or I may have to reconsider my bets.
Extending the range of the reservoirs and just putting them around. You can see I've put 2 farms down there now. We have researched the farms, so I've got the farms coming in. So 2 farms to start with. The hunger value shouldn't be too much higher anyway for fugitives. So we've got 1 fishing camp, which is doing well anyway, and then the 2 farms will come in as soon as possible. We are going into winter, so likely this season, well, definitely this season, they won't be built, and even if they are built, they won't be used. But with 2 farms down, and I think 6 of the reservoirs now spread out, and also a couple of the engineers' huts, we do have a generally good setup and something for them to do. Extending the radius on the cemetery as well, well, we can see we've got another quest, and this is one of the new quests from the full release, the Gifts of Nature. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have a T on that or not, so if you watch this creativo, you spelled it wrong, or you didn't. And all you have to do is get an animal and take it to the epicenter, and they use that as food, of course, and that completes that quest. Nice and simple. Incoming wolf attack on the warning. Now, this is a massive game changer. You can see it actually shows you where they are and coming from. So, without further ado, you deal with it. Two for the price of one there, and then one for the price of one there. Wolf attack sorted. If you remember from the before alpha, by the way, when it told you if you clicked on the wolf attack, it wouldn't take you to them. It just told you it was happening, and you had nowhere from what direction. And on huge cities, it was a pain in the backside. I had to wait for nuggets to die, and then go to the death, and then find it from there. At least now we can get the farms picking their right crop. There's only one to select from, but it is grasslands, so that will be okay to use because we are on the grasslands. More quests now to put out the house fire. Again, easy peasy. Trickle effect on the house. Job done. At the start, you get quite a few of these, so don't be put off. They do sort of stop after a while, and then you don't really see many at all. The other ones that are left, you have to actually do a specific pattern of things to get them to actually pop up. Which you'd probably have to sort of wiki or watch tutorials to figure out what they are. I will do one, and I have done one previously for unlocking the Highlander, which is all the quests. I'm just not sure at the minute whether that still counts for 1.0 or if you have to do all these extra quests now to get Highlander. So out of winter and into spring, I'm just going around and collecting a few of the crops that I can see. Now, there is no benefit to me doing this really until I start building farms in different places. For you, if you haven't already, you need to collect all 10 crops at least once. That will give you an achievement and unlock the Greenlander trait, which basically is the nuggets plant trees as they walk but don't live as long. To do it, it's not too difficult. The most difficult ones to find, I would say, are the ones around the rocks, around the mountains. And other than that, the others are pretty simple to find. Don't do it in winter because you destroy the bush, you don't pick it up. But other than that, you should get through it pretty simply. If you need any help with that, let me know. Not a problem at all. But again, the rock ones are the ones that are the most difficult to find. Shot. Very good shot that was, though you can't really miss. Okay, so sadly, we're about to get, yes, there it is, our first dead nugget.
Yes, please remove
so
the cadaver.
We do have to, by first dead, it's the first dead rotten nugget. So it gives you the quest to actually pick them up and place them in the cemetery. So that we shall do. Blinders are back, can't see it, and I'm the one that placed it. Nevertheless, there it is. That is done, and obviously by doing that, it gets rid of the infection as well. If you cure them, you can cure the infection, but it leaves the body there, and it will come back if they stay there. So picking up the body, which only takes 5 points,
are intent on
is cheaper.
your subjects. Ooh, there's an example of that going on.
Now, this is expected. The guy's saying that we're being attacked by the exiles. This is expected because you guys decided you wanted them to be aggressive. So aggressive they shall be. I can't see them at the minute. I am looking for them, but they will pop up. And again, you can click the button to take you to them. It's a lot easier. This is just the black market landing, and you've all seen that, I'm sure, so we don't need to watch that. But it just crash lands and gives you the black market.
So those machines.
And here we go. So as I said, we're under attack. You can see that now. So you can click the icon and take you to it. Makes it a lot easier for everybody. As you know, I do play in double speed 90% of the time, but I will come out of it for events like this. Straight over to my favourite spell, lightning, for these guys. And they'll kill mine. Mine can't defend themselves, so I haven't really got anything other than bows. I don't even know if I've got that. I think I've just got spears. But what they are crap at is surviving against a lightning strike from God. So that's 2 of them wiped out already. And of course, I need to put that fire out. Random chance for it to set the ground on fire. But I always put it out because it can spread pretty quickly. And you can see there is one more there. So I thought, why not just do a bit of science here? And can I ground him up for free creator points? And yes, you can. Though unfortunately it does affect your meter of nice and good. Destroying any nugget, whether they're enemies or friend or foe, will knock you down on that pedestal. So back to healing the ones that are the most injured, which will pop that back up, no problem. And moving on, or at least we survived that attack. Now there is an achievement for surviving your first attack. I don't know why, but it pops up later. It does happen, so you will get one, FYI. but it didn't happen when I actually defeated them for some strange reason. You can get resources from the black market, as you can see here. I don't know how it works though, because I can't select an amount. So if anybody knows that, please do let me know. I've only ever done it on the front screen. Now, using this screen makes them angry. Using the front screen makes them happy. So you need to work between the two. But it seems that they only seem to send 1 or 2. I'm not sure. So if anybody's got any more information on that, or how this screen that works now, where you actually order specific goods, please do let us know in the chat, and I'll make sure that gets through to everybody as well. Back over to research, just to make sure we're not missing a few of these water important ones that give us more spots to hold drinking water, because drinking water is a pain in the backside, certainly later on in your main city. So unless you're going to build 50 reservoirs, and that's not an exaggeration, if you only want to build like 5 or 10, then I suggest you make sure that you get them upgrades done ASAP. Moving into bunkers, though I don't think I'm going to build them. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I'm going to try and skip them all together because I really don't use them that often. There you can see on the screen the stone refinery and the wood refinery for planks and bricks almost finished, and that'll get us over to the next stage of building an upgrade, but also include the parks as well that we'll need to make sure the crime and happiness stay in reasonable levels. So just jump for you a little bit there as we're short on time, just to show you that we have actually finished off the buildings now that we was just talking about. You can see in the bottom we've got plenty of planks. Well, I say plenty. We've got a decent amount of planks and bricks. We also have the parks completed, which is making sure that the buildings we move to next. The garrison is complete, which the garrison is now the hunting lodge. It's called correctly. I've only got 2 people working in there, and you can see 2 schools as well, which we know education is critical for moving forward, because very soon when you get to the right era, you will only be able to use buildings with the educated Newgarts. Right, bunker is done, and you can see I am not going to place one yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm going to see if I can get through a playthrough without using bunkers at all. The heat wave and the cold wave might be a problem, but the disasters I don't think will cause me too much of a discern. So we are at time, so as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome as always. Subscribe for more. Join us on Discord. Take care. Goodbye.